My name is Aurora Hawkins, and this is my art talk on Georges Seurat. Georges Seurat was born December 2nd, 1859 in Paris, France, to Antoine Chrysostome Seurat, a 44-year-old property owner, originally from Champagne, and Ernestine Fevre, a Parisienne. His father spent most of his time in Laurency in a small cottage by a garden. Georges loved painting there in his younger years, but he mainly stayed with his mother in Paris. Georges showed a very early talent for drawing and art, so much so that he began formal art training at the young age of 16. At the age of 19, Georges began studying at the École des Beaux-Arts in 1878. He was trained under Henri Lehmann, a disciple of Ingres who painted portraits. During his time in school, he discovered theory-based art texts in the school library like Essay on the Unmistakable Signs of Art by Humbert de Superville, which delved into the relationship between lines and images and the scientifics of creating art. Georges was also inspired by David Suter, an artist that combined mathematics with musicology to create his art. These two people influenced and fueled Georges' future art style and the way he would experiment with using mathematics and science in his art rather than emotion. Based on the books he read and studied in art school, Georges believed art should be ordered and logical. He became very interested in the concept of art based on science and perception, not just emotion and feeling. This led him to start creating his art style based on color theory and visual harmony inspired by the scientist Michel-Angèle Chevreul. The combination of these ideals led to the creation of pointillism, a form of art that uses tiny dots of color to create vibrant and full scenes. Seurat was the inventor of pointillism, his own unique style he created based on science and math rather than emotion and feeling. Color theory was a huge part of his technique, layering thousands of tiny dots to blend the colors together optically rather than with a brush. The definition of pointillism is a style of painting where many small strokes or dots of paint are applied to a canvas. Pointillism earned its name from critics who criticized the divisionism of the colors on the canvas. This style inspired many other Impressionist and Post-Impressionist painters, one of which being Vincent van Gogh. Pointillism falls under the Impressionism category, which is what Van Gogh's style is categorized as. One of Seurat's famous paintings is Bathers et Eniers, painted with oil on canvas in 1884. Seurat intended for this piece to make a grand statement and make his mark at the official Salon art exhibit in the spring of 1884, but was rejected. It shows several men and boys relaxing by the Seine. It's hard to see, but if you look closely in the background, you can see chimneys of the gas plant and factories where the men pictured would work. But now they get to relax. The clothing on the ground could mean that the men came to the water right from work. Seurat painted mainly middle-class people doing everyday tasks, and this painting is no different. You can see how Seurat began creating his unique style here using layered colors and color theory, but it wasn't fully pointillism yet. His next piece he would enter for the official Salon, however, would succeed and skyrocket his painting career and reputation. This is Seurat's masterpiece, titled A Sunday on Le Grand Jatte. It began in 1884 and was finished 2 years later in 1886 and was painted with oil onto canvas. It was approved for and debuted for the official art exhibition, the Salon, and became his most famous work of art. It is also the largest painting he created, being 81 3/4 inches by 121 1/4 inches. This painting was created using pointillism, Seurat's signature art style and creation. Pointillism uses many small dots of color in layers to blend the colors optically, rather than with a brush on a palette. Seurat frequently painted scenes from modern life, and this one depicts people from different social classes, strolling and relaxing in a park on an island in the Seine River. This piece, titled Models, was created to address critics that thought pointillism was too cold and methodical. He began work on this piece with oil on canvas in 1886 and finished in 1888. Critics didn't believe that this style could be used for more traditional or noble subjects like the nude body, but Seurat proved them entirely wrong, even going as far as to paint the models in 3 completely different poses and angles, showing how much he could accomplish with his style of art. In the background we can even see A Sunday on Le Grand Jatte, his masterpiece, painted once again to show his skills in pointillism and talents in color theory. Georges Seurat was an incredibly influential artist who paved the way for many of the most famous works of art we have today. Without his style and creation of Impressionism and Pointillism, we would never have Van Gogh's unique style and famous Impressionist paintings. Seurat's creative process was a unique and new form of art that had critics and viewers alike questioning him, but he never stopped creating until the end. I'm glad I had the chance to research about an artist I didn't know much about. I have a lot more respect and awe for Seurat's creative process and works, and I hope to create my own unique style and my own art someday.